Good evening to you, one and all. Shadow Temple of the Zeldathon and F Crew teams back here with more Citizen Sleeper 2, which I actually finally played the soundtrack of at the beginning of these streams instead of playing music that I thought was still licensed for an old indie game, but I guess is no longer licensed for that indie game. And as a result, Twitch has been copyright muting every single intro to these streams so far. Whoops. But yeah, no, I don't know why I've been doing it though, because the soundtrack to Citizen Sleeper 2 is fantastic and I should be supporting it nonetheless. But yeah, I'm excited to get into the finale of this year video game. Not in the sense, of course, that I want this game to end. I've had a very wonderful time with this. Again, I think this is going to be hard to beat in terms of being my game of the year. I mean, obviously there's still a lot of time left in this year. There are a couple of big hitters out there that I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Like Slay the Spire 2, which may absorb my brain for a couple of months. Civilization 7, once it actually gets cooking. And yeah, no, we'll see. In the meantime, this one's been very good. It is a story, if you haven't seen Friends yet, of finding your family. You know, sometimes the family you start off with, of course, may be loving and wonderful, and you keep forever and ever. Sometimes that doesn't work out, or sometimes you don't even know the family you come from. Sometimes the family that you had disappears one way or another through time, through mortality, or whatever, what have you. And in those moments, we can, of course, find ourselves isolated and try to fly solo, or we can find a new family. We can engage ourselves in relationships and the lives of others that allow us to become more powerful than we are on our own. And I think Citizen Sleeper 2 does a beautiful job of engaging in that, in showing how slowly but surely the found family that you find over the course of the game really becomes like your little crew, your own little world that makes it worth living in a space where space is desolate, space is unforgiving, space is harsh, and space will come for us all as we're finding as we go through this game. But as long as we can still be there for the people around us, and as long as we can still breathe, or pretend to breathe in the case of Sleeper, that it is worth continuing to fight for. So yeah, that's what we're going to do tonight, and that's how we're going to finish things up, by trying to take down the guy who's been chasing us through space for all this time. We're hoping we can kind of take him out and live our lives for however long those lives may live. Let's get this thing going. I gotta take some pill. Girl, I don't know why I decided to wait until stream time to take medicine, but you know, it's good. It's kind of part of my checklist now. It's like make tea, have water, take my antacid, and then start stream. And then I forget to do most of those things before I start the stream, and so instead I'm doing it as I'm talking to you guys during the intro. Or sometimes even after the intro, and I'm still here hanging out on screen with all of you. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, everybody's having themselves a good Tuesday. Hope it's been good for you, and if it hasn't, hey, I'm glad you're here. And if it was, I'm glad you're here too. And hopefully we can wrap this up on a nice little note for any of you out there. Hello, Kid Obsidian Fox and Azrael. Some lovely Rishi Jasmine tea, and I'm at 8,871 steps, which means I am set for the night. I did a little bit of recording this morning, and then just generally did a lot of housework. Tomorrow's a garbage day, so I wanted to get out as much recycling as I could, you know, clean up. I'm still, no joke, friends, I'm still cleaning the kitchen from our triple bake back during the partnerversary in the first weekend of February. There are still bits of that kitchen that are in streamer mode that I'm picking apart. I finally got through all the dishes and all the various things. But today I finally brought down the studio lights, so they're no longer in my kitchen and blocking entire routes of our living space. It's just one of those things where like you got higher priorities, and then Marissa disappears for a day because she has office stuff, business stuff to do, and I'm left alone to my own devices, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll just clean. As much as I love that woman, I feel like maybe I do need her out, like going to the office every so often, so I'm not just motivated to just hang out with her all the time, and instead like make our living space better. Cause when she's there, I want to hang out with her. I don't want to spend all the time in the kitchen cleaning or, rearranging recyclables. I just want to hang out with her. Speaking of which, I hope she's doing all right. I haven't seen her since 6:30 this morning. She's a busy gal. You love your wife so much you get her out of the house so you do chores. Exactly. That's where I'm at. Trying to decide. I don't want to be hovery, but I hope she's doing okay. I haven't heard from her since 6. She's fine. 6. You have to understand a lot of our relationship really built up over the course of the pandemic, and then we both work from home. And so anytime she's out of the house for more than like 10 hours, I'm like, what's going on with my world? What's happening? This can't be right. I should be doing something. But yeah, no, it's good. Let's get this game going, shall we, friends? Wow, we're 112 cycles into this game. To note, by the way, this game, instead of operating in days, it operates in cycles. The first game, I decided to do a run of it, knowing that the Citizen Sleeper 2 is coming out. I think I finished a run of that game in about 40 cycles by comparison. So this game is at least 3 times as big as the first one, and it is so very good. And I hope if you ever get a chance to give it a try yourself and see what different choices you make from the choices I make, that you have a good time with it. You just joined. Did you miss anything? You did not. I literally just hit the continue button, and we are back here on, I don't remember the name of this place. This is Hollow? There's like some hollows in or whatever. What was this place? We are presently on, why does it not tell me the place we are currently at? You think I could get a little bit of information about that, but that's fine. That's cool. The Hollow. I was right. It is the Hollow. So we're on a station currently, or sitting just a little, sunward of the next place that we want to stop. We only have really 2 places left to explore in the game, and that is the Scatter Yards, where apparently we can get a lot of upgrades to our ship and kind of lay low for a little bit as we figure out our next steps, and Darkside, where actually we started our little adventure here, and then have ever since been running from a rogue gang leader attempting to hunt us down and kill and or capture us and to use for his own experiments. We've had quite the adventure all the way along all these other various stations, and we've picked up a lot of friends, we've made some enemies, and we've generally just tried to survive as best that we could with the people that we got. And we don't have a ton of missions left here. I know I'm blocking them, but we have 3 missions left right now, one of which is make repairs to my body, which has been falling apart on me, I will admit, but I can't fix myself until I actually break. Which, by the way, friends, is bad advice for real life. Get therapy or get your annual doctor's visit before something bad happens. Don't wait until something bad happens. Try to do preventative before you have to do, palliative. Palliative? Is that right? Is that? Just go see a doctor if you can. Yeah. Let's travel. Wait, nope. Before we travel, we have 5 dice. We have 5 dice to burn. So I'm going to burn some dice here before we start moving again. We had just finished here on the Hollow, dropping off some materials for a pirate radio station that's operating out of the tip of this here Hollow station. We gave them a new relay. We gave them some components they needed in order to fix it up. And now they're broadcasting news about the war across the belt. And how different stations who maintain their independence from this corporate war that's plaguing the belt, to help them understand how better to maintain their independence, I think is the kind of the general gist of this. I want to do some work. Give me some work. Where can I do some work? There we go. I can interpret some signals for some folks. Make a little cash for us. Yeah, there we go. You realize many of the signals are ghost versions of the same transponder. The crew are impressed. You've saved them a lot of work. Yeah. I'm going to line some arrays for them. As also 13 cryo. You find a syntax the Solheim arrays respond to, making it faster and easier to gather signals. The crew is impressed. Just drop all my good solid dice in here, get myself some wins. Beautiful. Made myself a little extra cash going into somewhere I might be spending a lot of cash. And I have 830 cryo to my name, so I'm not too worried about that until I spent all my cryo on gas. And now I am down to 790. I'm out of money, guys. Please help. My mushrooms are growing. That was something that happened in the last stream. Turns out we were carrying around a box of mushrooms everywhere for a while. And as a result, the busted box spilled some of the spores into our ship. And we decided, hey, these mushrooms taste pretty good. What if we just started farming them? And so we got a little farm. We got a teeny little farm on our ship. And I think that's really cute. But I don't need any more supplies right now, so I'm not going to buy any. We are going to fly. We are going to fly away. Hello, Love Ian. And what was the best part of my day today? You know, when Marissa's not in the house, I take it upon myself to eat the things that Marissa does not enjoy eating. And in that case, tonight's I think I had a name for it for a while, which was like the shadow dinner. Or the no Marissa meal. I think that's a good one. The no Marissa meal tonight was Five Guys and burgers and fries, because I love Five Guy burger, but Marissa don't like burger, and so I got myself a Five Guy burger. It was very good, very tasty, just like I remember. And they got that peanut oil fry. Oh, I love their fries. And they you know, I get the junior cheeseburger and the small fry, and it dwarfs the size of the sun. The fries, at least. Like, they take a whole load of the fries, and then they put another load of the fries in the bag after that. And it's like, wow, I shouldn't eat all these. And then I did. And then I had a chocolate shake, and now I feel terrible. But they're very good. Five Guys was only in Texas? Oh, absolutely not. No, that thing's all over the place. Whataburger is mostly a Texas chain if you're looking for Texas burger. Extra steps? Oh, you bet you bumpus. Yeah, that's why I'm at 8,900 steps instead of 7,500. I danced until I could dance no more. Yeah, let's go to the scatter yards. Off we go. I'd sit back and like grind up more cryo, but I really don't think I need more than 790 cryo. I can't imagine a world where they're like, yeah, 1,000 cryo, you're dead. The winking sigils of the yards flash across the dark starscape of the belt. Each one a siren light for crews in need of repairs or eager for improvements. The scatter yards live up to their reputation. But Seraphin will not be drawn by the lights. He guides the ship into an empty, ragged-looking yard, darker and more frame than plate. It looks rougher than any of the others.
Seraphin? Maybe we'll want to dock somewhere a little more welcoming? We aren't that hard up.
Bliss turns to you.
Or are we worse off than I thought, Sleeper?
Best shipwrights rarely have the brightest signs. Thought you'd know that, Bliss.
Seraphin reaches up and flicks a set of switches above his head.
Marco's the best in the scatter yards.
The best? Or just the best you know?
Bliss gives him a skeptical look. Is this an adventure strategy RPG type game? Yeah. It's mostly, I mean, it's more narrative than necessarily like strategy, but it's what's what I'm looking for? Tabletop like is a good way to put it. We are a single ship trying to fly through space, and we roll 5d6 at the beginning of each day, and then we use the outcomes of these rolls to try to determine what we're capable of doing in a single day. Is pretty much how it's going. It's weird that wear a hoodie in the summer. Depends on where you are and what your climate is. I do not wear a hoodie in the summer in Wisconsin, for example, because it gets up to 80, 90 degrees and I would die, and I'm a big boy. I already have enough insulation, thank you. You thought it was Wednesday when it's not. If I was Wednesday, I'd be off at improv. Today is Tuesday, I think.
You'll see.
Seraphin smiles widely, shutting off the main console and unclipping from the pilot seat.
We're safe here.
Seraphin turns to you.
No need to run from Lane for a while. They'll never find us in Marco's yard.
It'll be nice to have a break from running.
Junie floats to the back of the cockpit.
I hear the Scatter Yards has some good data analysis terminals on the hub.
Junie glances at you.
If you can spare me.
Nia glides into the cockpit.
We here? Femi loves this place.
She glances at you with a smile.
All these grumpy spacers waiting on repairs. I think it fits his temperament.
You follow Seraphin as he glides eagerly to the airlock. You and Bliss exchange glances. Both of you are used to Seraphin's headstrong moments, yet you still can't help but feel that now familiar pull of someone else's problems. Uh-oh.
Marco!
Seraphin opens his arms to the figure coming through the cycling airlock. Look at this fella. Street smart ship fitter, Seraphin's friend.
Finn!
Marco floats through the doorway, a crooked smile across his pale face, his sharp eyes glinting in the rig's bright work lights. The two embrace in more of a chest bump than a hug, Seraphin spinning with the momentum of the impact to end with his arm across Marco's shoulder, the two side by side, grinning. I know, right, miss? You notice Marco's eyes quickly falling on you, a slight narrowing suggesting his immediate thoughts about your presence.
So, this is who you flying with now, Finn?
Marco shoots you a wink, his expression shifting to conceal his previous curiosity or concern.
Bliss.
They introduce themselves curtly.
You two used to be on a crew together, I assume.
Me and Finn? Nah, we're just drinking buddies.
Marco's response provokes a laugh from Seraphin. Some kind of joke you can't quite catch the tone of. Marco turns his attention to you.
And a sleeper? He smiles. My condolences. It's a damn crime what those corporations do to you. But at least you're out, huh?
Yeah. Just nod. Marco doesn't miss a beat. Marco turns back to Seraphin.
It's been too long, Finn. Not flying with old Betty anymore?
You immediately see the reaction in Seraphin, his entire being tightening without anything more than a shudder to signify it.
No, that's long done.
Marco shrugs.
That's the way of the belt.
He shakes Seraphin by the shoulder.
Come on, then. It's enough floating around in this drafty old thing. Let's get a drink.
Marco turns his attention to you.
Feel free to make yourself at home in the yard. Hell, take a little fuel. I got loads of this stuff, and it's been quiet for more than a few cycles. Happy to spare some for a friend.
He steers Seraphin down the docking tunnel, waving a hand to you and calling back.
I'll have him home in a cycle or two.
His laughter echoes down the tunnel as they leave. Bliss turns to you.
I'm gonna go dig around the other yards for some components the rig could do with.
They smile.
You got things to do?
You think of Cadet and wonder if she found her way here to the scatter yards to extract the data on the hexport drive. The only way to know would be to find her. Seraphin's words echo in your mind, his insistence that the only way to escape Lane is to beat him on his home turf. With Darkside just sunward of the scatter yards, this might be the perfect platform from which to attempt such a wild and dangerous plan.
Sleeper?
Bliss brings you out of your thoughts.
I hate it when you do that. Just take care out there, okay?
They drift off down the docking tunnel, leaving you in the airlock. It seems the next step is up to you. Time to explore. Whoa, interesting. So this is instead of like The scatter yards. I get it now. It's called the scatter yards because instead of having one central hub, it's a bunch of various yards scattered around a center hub. Clever, clever. He's almost screwed. Yeah, I think I remember you mentioning that you were going to go check your knee. I had some friends, and they athletes in high school that they had pretty serious knee problems, mostly because all my friends were like 6'4" and taller. And turns out, like, that's cool and all, but if you try to use your knees a bunch when you're above 6'3" and you're like jumping and basketballing and what have you, you destroy your poor like tendons almost immediately. I had one friend who, like, by the time he got out of high school, he had like knees of a 40-year-old. It's tough out there. Seraph and Marco are off in some scatter yards dive, catching up. You hope Marco returns your pilot in working order. So we got two cycles until we see Seraphim back again, which gives us plenty of time to wander around a little bit. Surya's yard. Surya watches his yard carefully, keeping an eye on all the work that goes on there. He's not easily impressed. Okay, so I could go get some work over there if I wanted. Otherwise, what's happening to the transit hub? On every wall of the hub, there are scrawled alphanumeric markers that act as signs for the ship fitters, if you can understand them. Yeah, let's identify our options here before we continue. I think it'd be cool to learn more about this station before we start just committing to anywhere. That's good. You managed to stir up a lively conversation on the quality of the old Solheim rigs. Some of the fitters seem impressed with your knowledge. Yeah, it's because we've been in them. Let's see here. Let's drop a die in for following the markers, see if we can understand these boys. There's something compelling in the layers of scrawled directions in the hub. A complete commitment to an informal system. One more die ought to get me in there. There we go. You've gained a familiarity, even a respect for the Scatteryard's resistance to conventional systems of organization. Fantastic.
Hey!
You hear the voice echoing through the public passage.
Wait up! I'm glad to see you.
Cadet sweeps her hair out of her eyes, then glances up and down the corridor.
This is not my kind of station.
Cadet rolls straight into her complaints.
All the yards have their own water and facilities, meaning the hub here is not fit for general use. There's a couple of guest houses, but you would not believe the state of it with all the spaces that stop you for shore leave.
You don't want to know.
Hi, Cadet.
So, a little bit of background about this character here. We met them on the Far Spindle. It was the first place we stopped after Hexport exploded after we were on it. And turns out Cadet was hired to move a piece of information, or like a hard drive filled with information about why Hexport exploded. And they were being hunted down for it. So she tried to escape with it and successfully managed to get over here to the Scatteryards. And we have not seen her in probably 2 months. And we finally caught up with her.
Hi, yeah.
She blinks at you.
Are you even listening? So get this.
Cadet locks her fingers together and stretches her arms.
That girl of mine I said I could crack anything, she's gone. Didn't even leave a note. Ran to Darkside, maybe? Not that I blame her given the state of this place.
She looks sideways at the grubby walls.
She left her workshop empty, though, so I slipped in. That's where I've been napping. I've been doing my best to get all these cycles to crack that drive, but...
She sighs.
I'm a spindlejack, not a data scrapper. Which is why I'm happy to see you.
She takes a breath.
Telling you, I have not spoken to anyone in a long time.
She runs a hand through her hair. How about that alert they got on you?
Doesn't seem to stretch too far to the spindle, but I've been careful.
She glances around.
Hence the not talking to anyone in ages bit. Look, I'm in it over my head here.
Cadet looks away, annoyed at herself.
How about you come down to the workshop and we put our heads together and see what we can pull out? I just know there's some nasty shit on that drive. Stuff worth getting out in the light.
Cadet sets her jaw.
Nasty enough for them to ruin my life over.
I'll be there. Cadet smiles for a moment, then it is gone.
All right, then. The workshop is in the tech cluster. You'll see it.
She sighs.
Now, I gotta go find something to eat that isn't dried.
She turns and disappears back down the passageway. All right, so we got that gig there. We have the yard supply. We could buy, of course, supplies and stuff. There's Cadet's workshop that I can work on doing some encryption with. The fabricator bay. What's this about? The engine component fabricators in the hub are for ship fitters only, so they ask for a one-time fee to dissuade casual use. Yeah, I can afford 30 cryo. Not a problem. Cool. Even with a specialized fabricator, component construction is a delicate act. Only the most skilled can produce a rare, error-free component. Interesting. So I can build engine components here, and it doesn't cost me anything other than dice. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. We're also here at the Spent Drive. Shipfitters aren't exactly known for their delicate tastes, so all you'll get here is a high-glucose artificial ration in a sealed pouch. Ugh. I'm gonna throw some dice at this. Let's see if we can get, we can start building some components. Ooh. You work carefully, but your soldering isn't accurate enough. The component will be imperfect. So we're not gonna make a good one, huh? Ooh, you work carefully. Okay, yep, so I failed. So I burned both dice and I didn't get anything out of it. But that's okay. I wasn't really planning on using those 3s anyway. So not the end of the world. And the bright side is it seems we're not getting chased down anymore by Vane. So that means we got a little bit of time on our hands. Those are some pretty miserable rolls, I'm not gonna lie. Those are pretty god-awful. Fairly upset about that, but it's fine. Again, the important thing is we have nobody trying to chase us down right now. So we're trying to de-encrypt, or break the encryption on this drive that Cadet's been holding on to. I think we can just keep dumping dice into this. Encryption is not a common one, but you are starting to see the pattern in its code. Cadet is impressed. Time to see how impressed she is when I fail. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I wasn't expecting that level of success, but cool. I'm going to leave now because I only have ones. Ones are bad. Ones are real bad, guys. They don't do anything for me. In case it isn't clear, 1's bad, 6 is great. Sleeper! Seraphine's voice echoes through the ship. You in here? You glide down to the airlock, unsure of what state you're about to find your pilot in. Seraphine floats in the airlock, his arms above his head, gripping the lip of the interior door to hold himself in place. Come on, we need to talk. There's a straight-faced seriousness to Seraphine you weren't expecting, especially considering that he spent the past 2 cycles with Marco. Follow him. Seraphine leads you across the bridge, but rather than turn towards the automated shuttle bay that connects Marco's yard to the rest of the assembly, he leads you deeper into the guts of the yard itself. As he does, he begins to speak. I told Marco about Lane, about her escape, about everything. Seraphine ducks under a large pipe. He gets it. He's worked in Darkside. I'll let him talk. He comes to a sealed door and hammers in an entry code. Somewhere, machines start whirring. Remember in Wellspring, after everything what I said? Seraphine turns to face you. That we can't run forever? I mean, he folds his arms. That will always be true, but no. He meets your eye. That, if we want to be free, we need to fight back. The door suddenly squeals as the ancient motors kick in, and it drags it across the corroded tracks. It reveals a large, half-lit chamber, its furthest parts masked with layers of scaffolding and frames, so it is hard to tell where the room actually ends. At the center, in a pool of warm light, Marco floats beside a terminal screen. Hey, Sleeper! He touches his brow in a mock salute as you enter. Been busy plotting? Seraphine shoots you a look. Just hear Marco out, all right? You hear the door you entered through screech shut, and then a sudden silence descends. Sorry to drag you out of your Sleeper, but I really can't be overheard on this one. He sighs. We're close to Darkside here, and Utsubo have ambitions
shall we say, in the Scattyards. Finn told me the old story, and I'm sorry for your troubles.
He clasps his hands together.
You have done well to evade Lane this far, but you must understand, he's also been distracted. Since export went up, well, Darkside's been crisis. If the war was the pressure shift that allowed the Subo to build his strength, export was the breach to blow it wide open.
Marco springs his hands apart.
Export's the justification for imposing total control in the name of protection.
Marco glances away into a dark corner of the room.
And, if my hunch is right, it's how they extend their reach to the Scattyards.
Where's this going? Marco laughs and looks at Seraphin.
Straight to business, this one!
I'm done running, Sleeper. Seraphin cuts in. I hate looking over my shoulder every cycle. I hate the nightmares, the fear. I want to face this head on, for better or worse. He looks away, scowling. I won't be controlled by Lane, and this is our chance to break that control.
Lane is hunting you, Sleeper, which means he's not in Darkside.
Marco raises an eyebrow.
This is good for you. There are people in Darkside resisting Utsuba, although I hear it's not going well for them. If you could find them, find out what they need, there's a chance there.
Marco pauses, and you get the feeling he's assessing your reaction. Taking action is a choice right now, Sleeper, but soon it won't be. Seraphin glances at Marco. Not if what Marco's telling me is true. Let's do this on our own terms. What do we need to do? Seraphin meets your eye with a conviction. Thank you, Sleeper. I know we can do this.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Marco interrupts.
I will need some time to work this out. If you two want to go to Darkside, there's no way you can take that stolen rake. There's big enough risk just to bring it here.
He glances at Seraphin, and you get the feeling he has already been reprimanded for this.
So, I need to find you a way in and a way out.
Marco rubs his hands together.
I know it can be done.
Marco turns to you.
I recommend you take the next few cycles to prepare. The Scattyards are a good place to both spend and make cryo, depending on your need. And Finn.
Marco puts a hand on his friend's shoulder.
Try to stay cool. This'll be recon only. Chance to see what's going on in Darkside and make your connections. It is not the time for grand gestures.
Seraphin nods. Thank you, Marco. He glances at you. We'll keep things quiet until you're ready. You and Seraphin leave the hidden bay, the door screeching open to allow you to exit. When it seals once more, Seraphin turns to you. This is our chance to shift things, Sleeper. Let's keep our heads in the game. All right. All right, then. We should give Marco some time. I got a few things I want to take care of in the Scattyards, and I want him to get a message to Tala. I know she would want to hear from me before. He trails off. Let's make sure we're ready. Keep your head up, Sleeper. I'll see you on the rig. And with that, Seraphin kicks off down the passage on his way to the shuttle dock. You watch him go, unsure if you're impressed or concerned about his headstrong nature. Either way, things are in motion. The only thing you can do now is give yourself the best chance of success. Cool! All right. Well, we're gonna keep working on our little thing. We're gonna work on getting our little help Cadet finish her mission. See, maybe if we can start working on Surya's stuff, that'd be fun. We have access to build engine components, but right now, we don't really have a place to use them even then, which is kind of weird. We do know a guy who's great at mutinies. We could bring him on. I'm sure he'd love it. I'm sure he'd have a great time. All right, let's keep breaking this encryption here. We got one more positive. Oh, heroes. I was like leaning on it. I was like, come on, it's right there. How about a neutral? 1 to 2? Yeah, I will take it. Beautiful. I got to burn a bad die on that one. Cadet catches your eye as you look over her. What is it? She takes the end of the metal chopstick she had been chewing on out of her mouth. Got something? Cadet had given up already for the cycle, and while you were cracking the drive's complex encryption on her friend's workstation, she had been floating in the middle of the small workshop, pinging bits of scrap off the shelving on the wall. She really did give up, didn't she? Now she spins in the air and pushes off from the ceiling, spinning as she glides so she lands perfectly behind you, leaning over the terminal screen. As she does, you hit a key, executing the final decryption process. Sick. She goes to ruffle your hair, but you don't have any. Instead, she just wobbles your head playfully. What we got? With Cadet hanging over your shoulder, you try to concentrate on the data spooling across the screen. The first thing that catches your eye is the steady repetition of Quext, an identifier for Conway Extractions, the behemoth conglomerate currently waging a corporate war with Senate-Stat in the inner system. Why Conway? What is this data? You stop the scroll looking for details. Hit that thing! Cadet pokes the screen, making it wobble. You dutifully click. A comment expands in the code, a note left by someone. Mentions tests and protocols, and discusses reverse engineering and carrier signals. You close it and find another. Drone latency. Another. Security bypass. And one more. Kill switch. It takes a long time, you and Cadet squinting into the blue screen, to build up a picture of what you're looking at. When you're done, both of you sit back, your eyes sore and your minds clogged with technical terminology.
Shit.
Cadet shakes her head.
They were dissecting it live.
She is referring to the Conway drone mind this stream of data was scraped from. Huge volumes of internal data, of control systems, protocols, and passphrases. The kind of data you imagine was closely guarded by Conway, kept secret to allow the smooth operation of its drones.
This thing, it's some kind of general or manager, right? Giving orders to all the little drones that work for it?
Cadet squints.
I always thought Conway controlled its drones remotely with people. Those zero latency point interfaces you hear about.
From what you know, Cadet is right. Conway is known for their novel solution to the scale and logistical problems of the surrogate systems. Extraction and security drone ships, piloted from light years away with proprietary comms interfaces. A drone mind, what this code is scraped from, should be a kind of distributor, a relay for the local drones that links to the closely guarded transmitter/receiver. But this data suggests otherwise. It suggests an active cognitive process, far more complex than any protocol you have heard of. A thinking machine.
Look.
Cadet jabs at the screen again.
Is that?
She squints. You see a line in the data stream that reads simply, stop, get out, stop, get out, stop, get out, stop, get out. That's probably fine.
How did they do this?
Cadet leans back.
Everyone knows captured Conway drones purge themselves and everything else with a couple of square clicks around them when captured.
You're up the control
core of one, sure, you can disassemble it, but its system will be gone. This one was still running when they took it apart. It should have gone up like a tactical nuke the moment they started.
She stops suddenly, the fate of Hexport jumping into her mind.
Is that what happened? But how did they get all this and get it out on a drive?
Silence fills the workshop. You look back to the screen, unsure of the answers to the Cadet's questions. You feel a deep chill, one that you know has nothing to do with the temperature of the workshop.
Who the hell was doing this?
Cadet scans the code once more.
I'm going to intuit it!
Ooh, that was a bad roll. You go back over the data. It's scrubbed clean. Not a mention of who's scraping the data. You go over it again. Nothing. Not a single clue. The thought starts a process in your mind. Who scrubs data this clean? Who wants Conway drone protocols? Senate-Stat? Or is that too simple, too obvious for it to be Conway's lone opponent in this system-wide war? It's a possibility, so you say it out loud.
Yeah, that'd be my first guess too.
Cadet yawns.
But it's still just a guess. We've been at this too long.
Cadet sighs.
I'm cooked.
She pushes away from the terminal and floats in the room, stretching out her aching back.
We know they had this drone mine on Hexport. That's where they were cutting it, scraping it. We know something happened and Hexport went up.
She sketches her thoughts out in the air with hand gestures as she summarizes. They put mind flayers in the snow sticks. No.
The data got on that drive, I assuming before the explosion, then got to the far spindle. Someone tried to courier it using me, but the receiver wasn't there.
She turns and looks at you.
Which is when they ruined my life and my job trying to get it back.
This data is valuable, I'll tell you that much. Very, very valuable.
Riz is on her way home. That's for sure. Imagine taking control of all those drones, turning them away or towards any target you wanted.
She floats over the drive and picks it up.
This thing is the only way to buy my life back.
Cadet frowns at it.
The way I see it, we have to expose these fools so they leave me be, or give them the data so they piss off forever.
We can't give them this.
Not if we don't know who they are.
She laughs half-heartedly.
But yeah, we can't. All the roads lead in one direction, I'm afraid.
She spins the drive in the air.
Back home.
Hexport. If there's anything to confirm or deny this data, if there's anything to connect it to, if there's anything left at all, it'll be in the remains of that station.
I had a feeling it might come to this, so I made some inquiries when I first got here. The word is that the place is irradiated to hell, but I've also heard that the radiation is fading. It's not like half the belt isn't glowing anyway.
She shrugs grimly.
With suits, we have maybe a few cycles before it started to leak through. The problem is getting in.
She puts the drive back on the desk's magnetic surface.
Far spindle is a no. Not only do I not want to get picked up there, but the debris is denser on that side. No safe way in. Darkside is the best bet.
She shakes her head.
But I heard you have some trouble waiting for you there.
What if I deal with the trouble?
Then we'd have a clear shot at it.
She shrugs. Easier said than done.
This place is one hell of a stowaway spot, shielded from everything. Plus the scatter yards are no one's territory. I'm gonna leave the drive here.
She squints at you.
No peeking. But me, I want to keep moving. So I was thinking I could make myself useful till you shake that trouble in Darkside.
She smiles.
Work for room and board and all that.
You want to come with me?
Yeah,
She smiles.
professionally speaking. What do you say?
She folds her arms.
You know I'm tough, and I can do plenty besides ride an air bike.
You're in!
How many children can I fit on this dang ship? That's the answer I was looking for.
Cadet scans the workshop.
I've had enough spacer bathrooms for a lifetime. I'll make myself at home on your rig.
She picks up the drive and tucks it in the pocket.
Yeah. Hey, Seraphin! I found another stray!
Cadet glances away at the racks on the wall, and you follow her eyes to spot her air bike where it is hanging, carefully secured and pristinely kept. Cadet gives you a hard look.
You better have room for my bike.
Whee!
We just keep adding new friends over and over and over again. Yeah, look at this pile of names currently sitting on our ship at the moment. We just can't help ourselves.
I guess I'll throw the rest of my my dice at this and see what we can get.
As a low-level shipfitter, you are expected to do the hardest and most tedious welds to show your worth to Surya. Seraphin, we got the bike kit! You managed to meet the pace of the team, completing your welds just in time for them to be checked.
Let's try this one. I think this is going to go good for me.
You are forced to weld and re-weld the same seal over and over. Is this some kind of hazing ritual? And now I'm starving.
Time to buy some terrible, terrible meals.
The ration is sickly sweet and bland, but you can feel the boost as your system burns up the glucose in minutes.
That's okay. We got cash. We got cash, and apparently we've got 4 crew members making cash in the background as well. Let's see. We're at 783 at the end of this cycle. I'm going to take a turn and drop off some supplies for our cat. Very important.
Oh. We went from 783 to 791. You telling me all 4 of my teammates managed to scrabble together 8? They got 2 cryo apiece? Excuse me?
I gotta get them to try to work harder for themselves there, please. For the National Honor Society till now, yeah, procrastination's a real jerk. Trust me, I know. I've been there. I have been there. Oh, again! Time to go eat more bad rations. It's just a miserable set of rolls here, to say the least. Come on, come on, come on! There we go. Just keep tossing these in, see if we can get to Surya here. Hey, Cat Times, how you doing? One more! I think I have to have positive outcomes in order to get Surya's Eye, though. Yeah. The teams here work fast and hard, and you find yourself getting exhausted trying to keep up. One more positive outcome's all we need. And we didn't get it. That's fine, though. Made more cryo. Made up for the fact that our team sucks. and we're just fine. You find Seraphin and Marco waiting for you in the hidden room where you met before. They're chatting quietly, their shadows cast across the scaffolding by a small lamp. Excuse me. Sleeper, Marco's got something good. He nods to Marco. Tell him. Marco gives you a nod as you look at him, his mood quiet, conspiratorial.
I don't know if this is as good as Finn thinks, but this is an opening. I heard back from a friend of mine who runs a yard on the edge of the cluster, a fair way out from here. Smart guy. He makes a tidy profit off selling fuel to freight crews on the way to the Darkside. He undercuts the Darkside dockyard fuel prices, which include a cut for Tsubo, so they stop off at his place to fill before heading in.
Marco smiles. Clearly, this is his kind of business.
This guy, he owes me a favor. I'm gonna call it in. You can get a few of us onto a freight crew. Swap us out from the usuals, just stay at his place and let him have a few drinks on him.
You just... Are you trying to convince Marissa to stream on her own channel instead of mine? Is that what's happening? Is that why we're doing these? Is that why we're rolling the way we are? Just doing a bit. It's a good bit. But now I've called out the bit, so the bit's slightly less funny. But it's still a good bit.
The crew, meaning us, will deliver the freight, complete with a stopover for cargo loading in Darkside.
He smiles.
Which is when you do what you need to do. We'll have as long as we need, but the more time we spend there, the more likely they'll discover us.
It is better. All right. Marco looks at you.
We'll keep our heads down. Sleep and eat on the freighter. Then, once we're done and the freighter's loaded, we take it on out again. Return to my friend's yacht and swap the crews back.
He shrugs, emphasizing the simplicity of the plan.
No one will ever know we were there.
See? It's good. Seraphin nods.
It'll work, right?
What if they check the crew list?
What, on the manifest? Not gonna happen. Who's to say you wanted the names on that list? This is the belt.
Seraphin looks concerned.
It's gonna be tight, but I reckon you can get what you need in time. Make some connections with whoever's resisting Utsubo. Get an idea of their operation. Look for weaknesses. You'll have to be quiet, Finn.
Marco gives you both a warning look.
No noise, no attention. This can quickly become a one-way ticket.
Seraphin turns to you.
Think you can handle that?
Together we'll get it done. Seraphin and Marco exchange concerned glances. What aren't they telling you?
There's one more thing, Sleeper.
Seraphin looks down.
Someone needs to stay with the rig. Someone who can pilot it if there's any attention at the yard.
He meets your eye.
Has to be like this. I'm sorry. I'll be going in with you.
Marco puts a reassuring hand on your shoulder.
I know, Darkside. I'll guide you all the way in and all the way out. There'll be room for one more in the crew. I'll leave who that is to you. But let me give you some advice.
He leans in closer.
You better be sure you really trust anybody you take on this one.
You look between the two of them. Just you and Marco might be the safer option. The fewer people, the less likely it is you'll give yourselves away. But then, If Marco doesn't keep up his end of the bargain, you'll want all the backup you can get.
The other problem is we have to go right away.
You see the rising tension in Marco's face.
The freight is arriving this cycle.
Seraphin turns to you.
Sorry I can't come, Sleeper. We need to do this now.
Then let's go. Seraphin nods, his expression dark.
I'll be ready whenever you need. Just give me the word, and we'll head out to my friend's yard.
Marco sighs.
We keep this tight, nothing needs to go wrong.
His words echo in your mind as you leave the hidden room, a creeping doubt settling itself in the pit of your stomach. This is it. Time to go back to Darkside. Oh, boy! Well, it's a time-sensitive thing, but it's not too time-sensitive. I'm burning all my dice before we're leaving. Ha ha! Can't stop me. Let's make friends with Surya right before I have to leave. Ha ha! One of the ship fitters lets you know Surya's impressed. You've made the cut to work in the top fitter team. That's some quality work you've been doing. The voice booms through the locker room after your ship fitter shift. But why are you doing grunt work, Sleeper? Ah, hi, Surya. You turn to see a large man with a metal arm and bright patterned clothes. You spend enough time to immediately note this is Surya, owner of the yard and well-known ship fitter. Well, Surya wipes his one metallic hand on a cloth, polishing its painted surface. What do you have to say for yourself? I needed the chits. Is that so? Surya nods slowly. Know a lot of what happens on the scatter yard, Sleeper. And when I don't know, people tell me. He smiles proudly. And I know. You have a ship. Someone who has a ship, especially a ship like yours, should not be lugging around my workers' tools. Surya flexes his artificial arm, inspecting it. That, to a person like me, is a waste. Yeah, but ships cost cryo to run. True. All the more reason to really use them, though, isn't it? Why not take a look at your ship, Sleeper? Surya goes back to working on the hand. Call it a professional curiosity. It's a bit drab. Surya looks up and meets your eye. An old Solheim rig, still in its corporate colors. He shakes his head. Oh, no. I feel like that's your problem. People want a crew that looks the part. An outfit with an outfit. He grins. Look at my yard. Grew it from a chunk of scrap by showing people I was professional. I had standards. Made Surya's yard recognizable. Your problem is that you're working as a ship fitter's mate when you should be imagining much more for yourself and your crew. Surya smiles. And so that got me thinking. I want to help you. To clean up that old rig. Paint it up, give it some color. He tucks the cloth away in his tool belt. How does that sound? I'd love that! Perfect. Surya booms. Thing is, you don't just slap some paint on an old rig like that. And for this to work, it needs to look to reflect your crew, your style. So, while I'm happy to do the painting with my team, I need you to find some inspiration. Surya looks away towards the locker room's lone window. Luckily, the belt is full of it. Full of pattern and texture and style. There's nothing uniform about this place. It is the better for it. Surya looks back at you. You need to go out there, find some views, some sights, and make your own designs. Here. He proudly pulls a small slate from his tool bag. It has a 64-color screen. I fixed it up myself. You take and inspect the slate, made from mismatched pieces, but elegantly so. See what you find to inspire you. He smiles. Then come see me again. Thank you. I can see what you're thinking. You're thinking, what's in it for me financially? Surya eyes you carefully. How does this make you any chits? That's the other part of the proposal. While you take this voyage around the belt, you could do something for me and get paid for it. Free of charge, I will paint your rig with the look and name of my yard here. Surya's Yard. It commands respect. He nods sagely. You take that name to the rest of the belt, represent it on your travels, spread to the other crews. For this, I'll pay you 300 cryo. It's mutually beneficial. You'll earn better doing this than any yard work, and I get increased custom. What's not to like? Surya waits your response calmly, but you feel his expectant eyes on you. I like the colors. I'm into it. Wonderful. Surya beams. I'll send my team over immediately. By the time you return to your rig, they should be done. Reaches into his work pouch. Here, 150 cryo now. Takes out a handful of high-value chits. And another 150 cryo when you return with those designs. Sure. You take the cryo. Of course, I'll give you the other half on return with those designs. He smiles apologetically. I need to be sure you don't repaint the ship before your pilgrimage is done. It's only fair. Keep the slate. He waves an arm at you to put it away. Go find inspiration. Bring me those designs. I don't want to see you back at the shipyard. You need me out there. Sirius smiles. It's a pleasure.
Before he can say anything else, he's gone. Time to find out what his crew have done to your rig. So his whole business is he wanted to spray paint my rig, huh? Oh, I could pay his crew 15 cryo to unpaint my rig if I wanted. But in the meantime, look at that! I've got a new paint job! I love it.
That's fun. That's different. That's neat.
I like it.
Look at that. That's pretty. I like it. It's good. See if we can drum up some mushrooms for supplies. Or at the very least, eating. Yeah, there we go. That's not terrible. I guess we're ready to cook. Are we gonna take off? Darkside recon. We have to bring Marco with us. I'm gonna bring Cadet. I think that makes the most sense, right? That we have Cadet on here with us. Because Cadet also needs to get stuff done on Darkside. And I think that'd be the way to get them there, right? Off we go. The freighter hangs over the ragged shipyard as the rig idles in the dark. Your eyes trace the fuel lines snaking up to its underside, where they disappear into the dark. A chirp from the pilot's console breaks the silence. Marco's signal. This is it, Sleeper. Seraphin settles back from the controls of the rig. He looks over his shoulder at you. You better get going. Don't get too bored. I'll do my best. Seraphin smirks. Hope they have something to drink in the yard. You glide towards the back of the cockpit. Seraphin clears his throat. Just don't do anything reckless, all right? As you float down the corridor towards the airlock, Marco comes to meet you, his usual gear swapped out for a plain set of overalls that you imagine are borrowed from the freighter crew. You ready to go, Sleeper? The crew we're replacing are already in the yard, so the sooner we get on board, the better. He gives you a look. How you feeling? Concerned. Fair, but no need to be. This is the simple part. He pats you on the shoulder as you cross into the airlock. The airlock cycles, and Marco leads you into the yard through a series of shadowy passages that connect. Sorry, I just had a moment of like, I bet you my door, or my garage door is locked because I'm a good boy who locks his door. So after I might take a very quick break here, friends, and make sure that that's unlocked before we continue here. Otherwise, Marissa's gonna be locked out of the house when she gets back. So I'm just gonna take a real brief BRB there, friends, and when we come back, more of this. So there you go. Might reload my tea too. I'm feeling a little bit of frog in my throat kind of energy. Gotta make sure I keep myself hydrated through all this, you know. Here's some work. BRB!